Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid. I'm joined again by Maryland.
Good afternoon, my friends.
And we're back with turn 31 in the tournament finals. And the circus continues.
So, you want to do a summation or predictions? Which one?
I'm game for predictions. We haven't done predictions yet, really. What do you think's going to happen? This episode, if you had to guess one thing.
I think Uruk is... I think Uruk is going to be dead very soon. And I predict that he's going to lose some nasty armies this turn.
All right.
I predict that
That
Xibalba,
specifically would mean in Xibalba, the Xibalban war, then, because he's not really committing much to fight.
Yeah. No, but I'm predicting that Xibalba is going to pull some things out of the hat and punish Uruk. Yeah. I could be wrong, and it might go the other way, but that's my prediction.
All right. I'll be honest, I kind of hope it doesn't happen, because Nicknight is the guy who won my game. I've kind of been quietly rooting for him the whole time. But
yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, but I was just making a prediction on how last turn went, and that did not go very well for him.
No. Okay, let's start with Satis. I won the battle versus Jotun in the replay, but not the report. Oh, weird. He had the same bug we did then.
Okay, he should report that.
Not salty though. As it was a coin flip, calculated risk with wailing winds, making him run away or kill my stuff fast enough. So I took the risk because I'm near the bottom in almost every score graph. The loss means my already small chance of winning has grown even smaller. Yeah, I agree with that. But perhaps there will be an opportunity to turn things around. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I do feel sorry for Jotun as they're fighting on like 5 fronts, but they should have expected a coalition and handled diplomacy better. I fully agree with that.
Well, we've talked over the past 7 or 8 turns that Jotun has had a number of opportunities to sue for peace for somebody, and it sounds like he rejected every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It made sense, I think, maybe for him to continue this northern war, but the real problem was the Vanheim thing.
The Vanheim war didn't make any sense to me, no.
Yeah. And So, okay, let's see. We've talked about Satis. We've read his messages. Let's see what happens. Did he get his god out? So this looks like a Skelly spam squad coming in.
Yeah,
with some crossbowmen that would kill his god, probably.
Yeah. But it's just killing PD.
A Marshmaster comes here with a couple idiots. Gonna cast skeletons.
So that's just a cheapo raid. Any gear on the Marshmaster?
No.
No gear, no gems.
He's got one more cast and then he's done. And these are lousy troops. These are soulless, so...
Yeah. I'd say it dies. Yeah.
Okay, actual skeleton summoners back here, yeah.
Okay. Nope. So we lost a Marshmaster.
Now, where did the god go? Oh, the god went deeper.
Oh, God. Well, I guess he's just said, I can't get the god safely home, so let's just push forward. Yeah. It's not a bad choice.
I think he was...
He can call it.
Well, the bad thing is it did require him... Okay, he's got to move now. He can move the army and consolidate the army and god here. He might have had to have told Vanarus, sorry, dude, but this is the only way to get my god out.
That's supposed to be his ally. Oh, okay, well, maybe that's his plan. That's not a bad play.
Yeah.
Moving the god east and then or west and then back northeast.
Yeah.
And that's a big army he sent.
Because the god, I do not think, would have lived through this at all.
No.
So he could have retreated out, and he would have had 2 paths to retreat to. And gods are pretty good about retreating. In fact, I don't know why. I have never seen a god die in retreat. Unless there was no province to go to.
Most commanders don't die in retreat. It's the troops. You don't lose commanders very often of any kind.
Well, but I'm just saying I have never seen a god die in retreat. And I've seen a lot of gods retreat from battles. And we've all seen commanders die in retreats.
A little bit, but not very often.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a feature or...
I think it's a feature.
Yeah.
It's a question for Loggy.
Yeah, we'll have to get him deployed. So, okay, so that's interesting. He's making plays. Let's take a look at this army. Let's see what he's rolling out with.
So it's a pretty simple formation.
I could have sworn I saw a crossbow. Am I blind? Guess I'm blind.
I think so. Those are just some long dead.
Yeah. The Satis long dead, I think, tends to be worse than normal. Oh, no, it gets these guys, which are good. Ooh, that is a very good long dead.
Yeah.
It's not many of them. They have some, I think it's a bit like Lanka, where some of the long dead is worse. Oh, no, that's good too.
Yeah, when I play Lanka, I tend to do a lot of fiddling around, splitting my long dead into squads.
Oh, these are good, man.
Suicide the junk.
And see, I think some world, maybe if he did an enchantment rush, because he had so many death gems where he did reanimation and Twiceborn.
See, looks like he's possibly looking to do a communion here. There's quite a few shaman there.
Oh, yeah.
4 of them.
Curse? So, I guess that's in case there's a Scrotty.
It's got a few gems.
Random spells being cast. Moss Body.
Yeah.
A bunch of buffing.
Well, I don't think gem use triggered.
Yeah, he might have done Swarm or something, but...
Well, he had one with a couple of pearls. It might have been for Light of the Northern Star.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to get this guy buffed up, because he's got a great sort of sharpness thug here.
Maybe. Lots of Moss Body. But we're thinking, or you're thinking that's just the spell AI.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm very confused. This doesn't make... Yeah, he's not in cold anymore, so he can do Horde of Skeletons pretty well now, but...
Yeah. So 5 Shaman and 10 Mars Masters, so that's a significant force.
Yeah.
But now he's vulnerable to losing his throne.
Yeah, maybe he splits this and tries to take this and this, and then gets his god here. I don't know. All right.
If he requests passage from Vanarus, then his god can just safely move there on his own.
Yeah.
Because only the tiny little Jotunheim force on top of that fort can move there. The other one can't.
Well, the problem is this force, which is pretty scary, could move here. But it then risks bumping into this, and he would probably expect he consolidates these armies, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
Oh.
No messages from Jotunheim. Let's read...
Before we...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, let's finish up this zone before we go to the next messages.
Right.
Because I think we've said what there is to say about Satis.
Well, I was going to say let's read Ashdod then, because that will bring us to the next part of the Jotunheim conflict.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Jotun helped me be efficient with my shaman searcher's turns as I expected. So I guess he set some shamans to retreat. I'm anticipating he's trying to get to Mictlan, not that throne. Expecting me to jump on the throne and he can walk past. If I'm wrong, I'll just go on the throne with him on top. It's Starvation City in here, though. 2 K-pop provinces are painful. Rebirth are helping, but not quickly.
Can we look at that province he's talking about before you read more?
Sure. So I think this is the throne, or Mictlan. Where's Mictlan? Here's Mictlan.
It's this area he's discussing, I guess, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's see if we can figure out what he's talking about. To get to the Mictlan throne, okay, I guess that was the throne he took, expecting me to jump on the throne and he can walk past. I'm not sure what he means. Ashdod scouting network is all over Jotunheim. This is basically his new southern army. I'm guesstimating about 50 herdmen, 10 Gaija, and 3 Scrotty, plus another in the fort. So Turbo Communion, like the one I witnessed on my life run last turn. Oh, on the light. Oh, so he saw that battle we watched.
He saw him lose that entirely.
Right. He used exactly enough slaves and was probably a bit high on fatigue. I'm running my giants forward, no hold. Flaming arrows behind, as well as a light turbo communion myself, using Astral 2 mages with 3 shaman and 1 Zam. E1, S1, D3. Not yet enchant 5, but finishing Thom 2. I hope to snipe the Scrotty and their turbo communion of low HP with 13 MR. So I think this is a mind burn play he's talking about.
Sure. Which is a similar kind of play too. Because, yeah, you're just targeting, they're going to hit the Scratty with their big hit points.
Right. The flaming arrows will keep skeletons in check. So part of the thinking on this is that if he's running the Scratty a little hot, where they're barely regenning enough to keep up with the masters, that a few mind burns will throw it off balance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The flaming arrows will keep the skeletons in check, and the giants will finish the herdmen. He may avoid and return to the cap. We shall see. My arena champ is holding south of my army to catch a Vedi squad if he comes north. On the Diplo front, Agartha's falling, shifting a light force to take his north when I get the signal. This means I'm leaving a fort under construction with no real forces, a calculated risk. Hoping to de-ice the Van relationship now, with the player pool shrinking. Would be good to secure a long border. Time will tell if he feels the same. Maz in particular will be a nice safety check versus Cav, though. Okay.
So he's talking Vanheim,
right?
And he's trying to negotiate a firm and clear NAP or border with Vanheim. That makes sense.
He's got a pretty big border with Vanheim. And Vanheim's elf potential against him would be rather huge. In fact, if this war fizzles out, that in some ways that's kind of the most logical next war.
Oh, good gosh. Okay, I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff. The Ashdod part's pretty simple. I think he has freedom of movement to do mostly whatever he feels like now.
Yeah. He's got a raiding force here. He had a raiding force. Okay, this is interesting. 2 Vedi hags take this out. I wonder if this is swarm. Yeah.
Just a cheap counter raid.
Yeah, double swarm casts.
Okay.
Bakemono fail. I don't love Bakemono. I mean, you can see they've been...
But he's done well with them, and it's a cheap rating force.
Yeah. Now, people like them a lot, and they do pretty well.
Heavy cow. That's heavy cow. So.
Yeah.
Well, it got the heavy cow, so that was close.
Yeah, it was close.
That was really close. He almost got that.
Yeah. But how much does that cost? This was like 40 to start with. So 4 times 7, 280. So like a 300, when you factor in the commander, I don't know, 300 gold. I guess it's decent mileage. They didn't pay for themselves though. He took territory. It got raided back. So he had this for 1 turn, and then they died here.
That's only a purely economic calculation. I think he's gained initiative by forcing Jotun to spread his forces against these little cheap squads of Bakemono.
I mean, sure. I don't disagree, but I mean, look, 6 hags. It's they're bad. I mean, they're not bad. People like them. I don't love them. Because this is exactly what happens every time people use them against me. Is they maybe at best get 1 territory, and then they all die.
Yeah.
This one was close too, though.
But they got the commander.
Okay. But no place for these guys to run to. I guess these guys ran south. So
I like stealth troops so that you can move troops that somebody won't see and then pop them into an army when you need that.
Yeah.
I'm not super fond of pushing stealth troops in aggressively stealthing and then pop out the next turn. I found that it's just not very effective.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of problems. Like, you can't trace income a lot of times, or, it's okay for spreading your opponent's attention out, like you're mentioning, but I don't know. It's fine, but I think if you do the math, these Bakemono did not pay for themselves.
Probably not.
But, it's pulling Jotunheim thin.
Very thin. Very thin. But what I noticed, if we're ready to move south a bit, is the giant Vanheim siege squad.
Vanheim. Okay, well, let's wait, but let's clear this northern theater first.
Go ahead and finish that split
up. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about before we go south is Pelagia. So Pelagia had a huge army. I thought it was here, but maybe it was here.
Yellow Plains, right there, and it retreated.
It went south, and he has the Kraken. I feel like Because you were thinking he would make the aggressive move and check the capital.
Well, I said that would be probably what I would consider doing.
Right.
But I also thought that pushing it to the northwest onto that other fort was an excellent option. He chose neither. He chose to pull back, and maybe he's going to take that throne.
Yeah, he's playing very conservative. He does have the...
Sure is.
The Kraken has disappeared.
Where did it move to? We should be able to see it. It's got a water elemental in there. Where'd the Kraken go? Oh, it's stealth.
It probably stealth moved. Which is weird, because that would mean it would have to stealth move one move, because it can't map move two.
No, but it could teleport.
It could teleport, but then it shouldn't be stealthy.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what he's doing with
There's a mystery with the Kraken.
Mm-hmm. No.
Mysterious critters.
That's a player we might want to ask some questions of. Ask Arco a few questions. Because I mean, there's nothing wrong with his play, but it's very slow. It's a very slow build-up, planning for something, maybe globals.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And there's just the Mother Oak up. How's his research?
I think his research, he was like top in gym income. Yeah, he's very good in gym income. He's number third, or number 3. For research, he's now number 2. Just barely eked into number 2.
He's got a lot of potential to start blasting globals right, left, and center.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem to have spent any gems at all.
Yeah, except maybe site searching.
I see very light gear for the few little thugs he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have spent a lot of water gems on Voice of Tiamat, but that should have been paid for a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. I think the global plays... I mean, if you pick Pelagia, you're thinking about Arcane Nexus. So
sure,
that's obviously not like a mid-game thing. That's a very late-game thing, but it's something he's going to be thinking about.
But he's got a number of mid-game options for globals in the interim.
Yeah.
And if he's pushed his candles, he's got nasty fun like Vent for Water, which makes enemies of everybody, but...
Yeah. Okay. Well, not much to talk about there.
No. Okay, I marked him as finished.
Okay. Sieging Army of Vanheim.
And I think we're finished with Ashdod.
There's honestly not going to be much to talk about with Vanheim because he has murdered everything. And it's just, he's going to be pillaging. Like looting.
What I meant was he didn't even bother waiting for anything else to happen. He just went straight for the other fort.
Oh, yeah.
That was what I noticed. He did the high-speed, fast move.
Right.
Put that entire mob of high-speed troops on that fort, and now he'll take one fort at a time.
I think he's going to take this with like a thug or something. I think he's going to go ahead and move this army off and start sieging other stuff and raiding. There's nothing to hold any of this land now.
Nothing.
Yeesh. All right.
Now, interesting, he did not raid north from his throne, which might mean that he's been negotiating with Ashdod, that would be Ashdod's territory.
Yeah, it could be.
Possible. Or he just didn't bother.
I mean, he's also getting to the point where if he turns on Ashdod, like if somehow he engineers Ashdod to lose a dim stack with Jotunheim, like if there's some huge turbo communion or something or fatigue play and Ashdod gets stack wiped, he could eat all of Ashdod in a very short amount of time. That would put him in a position where everybody would coalition him. But if he gets Mictlan and like all of what was Mictlan and all of Ashdod stuff, or most all of it, he would be almost big enough where I don't know if a coalition could push him back.
Yeah. I just noticed something interesting in Vanheim's territory. On his northeast fort, or northeast corner of his territory, the fort, I see sprites.
Northeast. Oh.
Now that suggests that he's got a fairy queen already. Now, how the heck he got that research, I don't know. But...
No, it can't be. He's got. He's like one of the lowest in research, and we know he doesn't have air elementals. He was telling us that just the other turn.
That's right. Where the heck did he get sprites from? I don't remember there
I think
being
there's a spell
sprites.
for it.
Is there a spell for just sprites?
Yeah, I think so. It's a nature spell.
It'll be nature. Summon sprites, level 6.
Yeah,
That's
one nature
high.
gem. You get 6 of them. I wonder if those are good for patrolling. I had never thought about it, but one gem is cheap as hell.
I almost never.
Well, can you look it up, Maryland, and like do a test game or something real quick? Tell me what the patrol value on a sprite is.
I'll see what I can do here.
Do you have debug mod?
Yep.
I mean, I could do it just as quick, I guess, but it's probably better if.
Well, actually, some of the patrol values were put onto the wiki. I don't know if it ever got completed, but there was an excellent page of.
Yeah, I don't think it had sprites in there. There was an excellent page. You're right, though.
Yeah, patrol.
I'm gonna test this real quick.
No, I don't see sprites. But basically, what we need is we need to know their precision.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, summon sprites. Where are you? Nature.
Nature, air nature, or
nature
it's air.
It's air nature or air nature?
Nature primary, I think.
Why do I not see it here?
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
It's nature primary. You get 6 sprites.
I just did fairy court.
Precision is 14.
Wow.
Their map move is 22. Yes, their patrol will be
How did I not realize this? This is the thing. You watch good players, you learn something, not like trivial, but important.
Yeah.
No, he had a Van Jarl in that province. You get 6 of these guys per nature gem.
So that's 15.
Yeah, 15.
No, not quite 14.
14
patrol per gem.
Patrol per gem, which is a ton.
If we look at that, if we look at that chart,
and they're better than wolves because wolves will run in and die, and these are actually potentially useful against thugs, and they're not going to run in and die. And they're not going to give away. Sorry to keep going. They're not going to give away. You have a blood hunting province because they're glamored.
Right. So the only thing better on the chart of the ones that are on the wiki for the chart are condors at 25. The next closest thing are watchers. But watchers are immobile.
Yeah. Wait, so condors are how much per gem?
They're 9 for 9, if I remember correctly. And they do scale.
But how much patrol? How much patrol strength per gem?
25.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're outrageously high.
Yeah.
But that's strictly a Nazca thing.
Yeah.
And Nazca is one of the most commonly banned nations in the game.
Yeah. They're super strong. So interesting. That apparently is what a blood hunting side for Vanheim can look like. I had never thought of that. That is super clever.
I just saw that little hint of green wings, and I thought that's either flying monkeys or sprites. And I thought, whoa, he has Conjuration 8 already and a Fairy Queen. I mean, with a Fairy Queen, his ability to put up Storm and Thunderstrike goes way higher. But there's probably no way. So it must just be the sprites.
I don't think they get nature air. So he must have found an indie or something or from his god.
But where the heck do you get? It must be his god, because nature air, I'm not aware of any nature air indies. Oh,
what's nature earth?
Oh,
the Enchantress can do it, but I don't know if he has one.
I don't know. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's very interesting.
Huh. I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
a little bit of a surprise just popped up by watching the map.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so anyway, Vanheim eating Jotunheim, and there's not much to say about that.
No.
Um.
Oh gosh.
Okay. What else?
No, I'll let you pick which way to move, but I'm spotting little tidbits of interesting things.
Okay, so we have a message from. We'll do Pangaea, I think, next. So, random thing. Pelagia technically broke our NAP by sieging 245. Our NAP, our deal was that our NAP would be immediately over if Pangaea took any of the coastal provinces that I bordered at the time. And since they owned, since I owned the lake at the time of the deal, I bordered 245. Not sure if Arco knows this. It's not super relevant since I have much better things to do than go harass him.
So where's 245?
This is one of those things. That's right. This one. You remember he was on this? So basically when they signed a NAP, Pangaea didn't want him getting into the lake. So he said, if you siege any of the things near me, like this fort, then the NAP's over.
Well, okay. Those are some complicated NAP terms, but yeah.
The complicated part is like, okay, well, he's done it now. That doesn't make him really he didn't break a NAP. He didn't attack Pangaea. But Pangaea could say, okay, well, that's a reason for me to attack you without any more warning. Maybe.
But Pangaea no longer owns it because he lost it to the independent sea trolls.
Right. And
he did own that lake at one time, but he lost it a long time ago.
Well, but then what does this mean now? Does this mean that Pangaea can now attack Pelagia without warning? Does this mean Pelagia can now attack Pangaea without warning because Pelagia did this? It's very complicated.
Did he lose that siege, or what is the?
There's just a guy on top. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think that's a little bit of backroom lawyering.
Yeah, I don't like non-aggression pacts. Like, if there's weird lawyering terms like that in there, I normally won't sign it. Because they're too hard to enforce. You get these weird corner cases like, okay, he attacked because he felt he wanted to lock the fort down, but now what? Is the NAP exist or not? Who can attack who?
No, if your communication with that player is good, and they're a reliable ally and they communicate well, I would just simply say, do you mind if I make this small violation to the terms in order to block that guy for a little bit? I'm not going to take the province. I'm not going to fully siege down that fort. I'm just going to block his recruitment. And I would have said, oh, absolutely. That's harmless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one simple little message could have avoided any dispute.
Yeah.
And I would also, if I was Pangaea, if I didn't feel I wanted a justification to call the NAP ended, I would simply say, hey, I think you broke the terms. Let's talk these out.
Yeah.
That'd be my approach to this situation. Because I don't think there's any advantage to Pan to pick a fight with Pelagia at this point in time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just not. I mean, somebody wants to get that throne at some point, but nobody's been willing to commit to it.
Right.
Okay, look at this crazy guy. That's impressive.
Yeah.
He's going to tank 20 heavy cavalry with a cheap thug.
Yeah. 20 gem thug.
But like you said, this is his combination of really nice high protection and high defense.
Yep.
They just can't hit him.
Nope. Too many layers. The vine shield, the defense, and the protection.
Nice.
He didn't even get hit, I don't think.
Nope. That's a good chassis. I had not thought of Centaur Sages as cheap
or Hierophants, I think what they are. Yeah.
Or Hierophants, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
not
solid.
terribly expensive.
Yeah.
But usually I treat them as magi, right?
They're pretty bad casters. They've only got one random path.
Oh yeah. No, sorry.
You're thinking LA.
I'm thinking LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the everyone's got Astral. Yeah. So everyone's a communion something.
Right.
It's good use of.
Yeah. So
are we kind of done with Vanheim?
We're done with Vanheim.
So we're done. Are we kind of done with Jotun?
Yeah, we're done with all the Jotun stuff.
Well, we haven't talked about any other parts of Vanarus, but I've marked Satis, Pelagia, Ashdod, Vanheim, and Jotun, and it's finished. And now we're doing Pan.
Yeah, I think we've done Vanarus too. I don't know if you said that. Yeah, I don't know why he's putting the Menaids in front. I wonder if that's for javelins or what.
Well, it made sense in the first time he did that with those little single squads of one.
Yeah.
Might be just trying to soak up those Masushus.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
I mean, it's obviously not risking much, but I just wasn't quite sure why.
Yeah. Well, it's a general purpose bait squad, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what they'll bait because their hit points are fairly low.
All right, so he's taken Uruk's capital, having to kill literally one mage.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And he tried to take this, but did not succeed. With the lowest commitment thing maybe ever imagined.
But all he had to do is get a couple lucky... Oh, those guys have ethereal themselves.
Oh, but they run.
Oh, and one ran away. Oh, it was so close. No. How did he lose?
The wild archers he can't kill.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. But he got rid of the two Magi in there.
Yeah. Okay, Uruk rolling out with these guys. What would be hilarious if he takes these and marches them off to fight Xibalba?
Well, that's what he said he'd do. Oh, but...
Okay.
Uruk's border with Xibalba doesn't look very good.
So he's got inside of here... two slaves. And then he's got one mashu, and one ashipu. And let's see what they have going on. I think these two could fit in the same tile too, so I don't know why he didn't put them in the same tile. Soul Slay, Stellar Decree. See, I think if these guys had maybe like Legions of Steel, if he got these guys more buffed up,
they might have been able
to hold. The problem is, I don't know. We'll see if they did hold an attack. I don't know if they'd be there in time. Yeah, I think these guys might have made it through the gate if he had done hold an attack.
Well,
maybe if he did a few on hold an attack that were sacrificial and then had some more he could buff up.
But what are the paths on those two Magi that Uruk has back there?
These are astral. This is astral, and then he's got an astral nature, and
he doesn't have much in the way of buff choices. Not with what was in there.
Well, I mean, even just ethereal and wooden warriors or something would have done it, I think.
The other thing is, it might be a case where this is just where you don't want your Magi all the way back.
Yeah.
Because there's not much risk of them being shot. Because Xibalba doesn't have much in the way of archery.
Yeah.
But, anyways.
It doesn't cost Xibalba much. He loses 8 Womuk, which, is something.
It's not.
But this is not
cheap.
He could have. I think Uruk. I think after that last battle with Xibalba's god, he probably lost some real life morale. Huh?
Yeah, there's a good chance of that.
Because I feel like I've definitely seen Nicknight do harder fort defenses with this, and with these mages in here, he could have done a bit better, I think.
I think there's some choices he could have made, but I'm not gonna. I don't have a lot of, and so he's just taking that other army, Uruk, and just rampaging.
We'll see. Well, it was in a weird spot, right? It either could have come on here, where he probably would have had to have fought the Teodol.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sieging this, huh?
Oh.
It's an interesting choice.
So he must have built a sea king's goblet, to get those guys underwater.
Yeah, let's see. He might. I'm not sure. Manual of water breathing.
Water breathing. Okay, and then
two of them.
Okay, that's probably it.
Maybe. I guess he can do wooden warriors and.
He's got that independent water mage probably from an event.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think that Uruk's time in this game is short-lived.
Yeah.
I mean, he has nothing to stop Pan.
I'm sad about that because I really wanted to see what I wanted to see how Nicknight wanted to play, and it hasn't. So far, he hasn't really been able to show much.
Well, I guess I'm sort of going. I'm finding Uruk, a nation, is not giving me a whole bunch of positive vibe, as it's not all that interesting, and maybe that's just me.
They are considered by a lot of experienced players to be one of the better MA nations. Like, they're very solid. They have some of the best mage core. They scale into the late game really well because they don't have human mages in the late game. They get nuked so easy.
I guess I'd have to try them, and it hasn't really popped out to me that there's something really cool about how this has gone, but I don't think Nick has had a bunch of opportunity to really. I mean, he did some really cool stuff early with the Masushu and his quite cheap expansion armies.
Yeah.
A couple disasters trying to get in the water. He built some thugs that, just couldn't cut it. But trying to thug into water is a high risk maneuver if you're not a amphibious nation.
Well, he just, he's had to basically give up. Well, He's chosen to basically give up against Pangaea. And Xibalba just hasn't given him, just with how the war is played out with the god getting this army out of position, Xibalba hasn't given him a chance to have a clean fight yet. So that's kind of part of why I'm sad, as we should get to have a clean fight, but we haven't had one yet.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
He's still got armies. He's still got Mad
Guy. Okay. Light rating here from Xibalba. Oh, did we watch? Oh, yeah, we did watch it. Yeah, there's not too much else to talk about, I don't think.
No, I think we're kind of done with Uruk and Zibalba.
Yeah. Okay, so Ashdod, we've done also.
We've done.
Okay, what we have not done is End and Agartha, and I don't think we have a message from them.
No.
So,
just going to make a note. We've kind of done Zibalba.
Agartha looks like there's a fire. Oh no, he's just suiciding this guy.
That guy. Okay. So he counterattacked quite cheaply.
Okay, so End patrolled. Sent a scout to see what Agartha was going to do in his camp, and Agartha only has PD. Did not patrol with one guy, a golem crafter.
And it looks like he made a lot of magma kids recently.
Oh my gosh.
Because he had lost all of them. So
I wonder if he traded a bunch of fire to get these.
He maybe bought a lot of fire gems. That's a whole bunch more magma kids.
Yeah. So they moved on top of this fort and lost one sage. But otherwise... Oh, Earth Elementals.
That's probably how we lost the sage. Yeah. Well, something along those lines.
Oh, a magma bolt. A magma bolt was what killed one.
Oh, okay. He's on advance and cast. So that is always a bit of a risk.
Yeah. So he lost 5 guys.
It's worth it, but it's always a little bit of a risk. The tossing up 2 golem crafters to patrol for Agartha was a good decision, I think. A little more PD would have helped.
Yeah, that's exactly what my thought was. Was like, if you're going to put the golem crafters here, do a bit more PD.
Yeah, like 10 or 15 or something.
And he basically knew, like, if the army came, he knew what it would be, because this was the same army that raided him the previous turn.
Yeah.
So he would have known that this is kind of insufficient.
Yeah.
Or even more gems, maybe, to do more Earth Elementals, something. But Ed is kind of, they've slowed down some. There's not, they've got this big army here, but I don't think he's going to move this big army on top of that capital.
Not anymore. Because that looks like 100 magma kids just popped up. Just looking at the picture. That's a lot of magma kids.
Yeah. Maybe he takes them and goes on top. That's probably what I would do, is take this army and go on top of this.
Get that siege, get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, he does have this force. I think Ed could feel pretty confident about taking this whole force and moving out here. And if he trades with this and lose, and they both almost stack wipe each other, then that's basically the end of the war. He can then take, that's it.
Well, that's what he said last turn in his notes, is that if he can get one more of these 3-to-1 kind of exchanges, he's won the war of attrition and it's game over.
Yeah.
And I think he's right in his assessment.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting turn. We had, there's a golem crafter here who was going to do some so Agartha's put up a pretty good counter rating defense, and and has been very cautious and not run into many of those traps. And the one trap he did run into, he killed. So
yeah. I guess we'll see. But the other thing we just learned, though, is there's a threat to Agartha's northern border.
Oh, right, which is Ashdod saying they're getting ready to vulture.
Yeah, and if that happens, then, Agartha is out of the game.
Well, I think they have a nap. So I think Ashdod is only going to vulture on command rather than as a predator.
He said something about that. I'm not sure who he means, what this command is from.
Well, if you have a nap with somebody, a lot of times they'll release you when it's pretty clear they're going to lose. Now, while he has this army, it's not clear.
Yeah, I kind of interpreted that to mean he was waiting for it's okay from Ind to attack.
Oh.
But you're saying you think he's saying, if Agartha says, don't let Ind get too big, please come take my land.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
That's what I think. I could be wrong, but
it wasn't how I read it, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. An endless forest. So, I think that's that. We've covered Ind, we've covered Uruk, we've covered Pangaea.
Well, I think we can go to the tasty bit, which is if we go over to Bandar.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pythium.
I don't know what happened in Pythium. Yeah, see?
How about that?
Here comes that crazy Yaksha.
Okay, he's gonna
buff it with the
enlarged region. This guy's gonna do.
Oh, he's changed it up. I think it didn't have the. It wasn't a poison play before.
Yep.
It had a sort of sharpness or something.
Moss body and body ethereal, iron skin, personal regen,
and enlarged temper flesh.
Has a lot of buffs. Poison resistance. Oh boy.
And he's got enough reinvig, I think, that he's neutral.
Yeah, what's his reinvig at? 4? Ooh.
4. He's better than neutral. So he can sit there and bash away forever.
Well, but these guys... Okay, he's up to 44, because these guys do have Bane of...
Oh, right. So those are Ghoul Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And they have poison. Oh, they're not poison resistant. Yes, they are.
Oh, no, these aren't the undead ones. Even the undead ones from Late Age Home are not... yeah, these are just Guardians. Even the undead ones aren't poison resistant, if I recall, though.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. It's one of the few undead units which
that is kind
vulnerable.
of strange.
If that was an oversight or what.
But we know he wins because we saw it on the map.
He's getting... These crossbows are what's hurting him. He took just a boatload of damage from a crossbow.
I see that.
Where is it?
We were talking about stacking defenses, though. He stacked a lot of different defenses on this.
Yeah.
Because he's got Awe, he's got Divine Shield, he's got very, very high protection. He's fatigue neutral. So he's even starting to bring his fatigue back down after being hit by the Ghoul Guardians. Now he got one bleeding. Another one bleeding.
Yeah. Oof.
Cool. Well, Bandar is just not going to die. He is just not going to die. He's not going to give up. Look at that.
Make the wise decision to retreat.
Wow, that's kind of amazing. Yeah. Yeah, see, I normally, when I make extra thugs, my sort of fallback routine is use a Frostbrand, but the Snake Bladder was an excellent choice.
Yeah, we've seen the Snake Bladder get used a few times here, which I'm pretty stoked about. I use it... it's kind of one of the things that's like deep in my bag of tricks where when the
usually throw it
situation
on
gets really desperate, I'll pull it out.
I usually throw it on a Bane because then you just don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry the problem with it is if you're relying on a buff cycle, you get an interrupted buff cycle from, say, an air elemental, and suddenly you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
So a snake ring is more reliable.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, Alm is broken his NAP with Vanarus, but he's not in great condition for this. He's still got. I mean, now he's got
some armies here that might be able to go on top of this fort, maybe. But there's a big army which could reinforce, which he may not see. So it's possible he takes a complete bath up here.
Well, and we talked about the fact that I think he's premature in breaking the NAP until he had finished Bandar.
Right.
And how long's he been sitting on Bandar? Almost 10 turns now.
A long time. I think I've learned a lot from watching this Ulm game. I think you definitely want large amounts of crossbows for your first war. Without
we have
a doubt.
Talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this quite a lot. Either the sappers or
the other guys. With Strength of Giants, those guys will just... Oh my God.
And they're more cost effective because
Yeah.
you're getting 2 for the price of 1 and
Yeah.
10 gold to the 20 of the sappers. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of gold to give better melee capability for what is a crossbowman.
Yeah. So it's they get the siege bonus is the real reason you get the sappers.
That you brought that up, and that's an excellent point. But that makes them a specialty troop, not a general purpose.
Yeah. I mean, Ulm has this Ulm's thing, I think. Ulm has a few things. They have the low MR, but their thing kind of is they have troop superiority, but you have to prevent your troops from getting cheesed. That's, I think, the way to think about Ulm. It's like, I'm going to roll out with this army. How do I make it really hard to cheese this army? And crossbows are one way it's really hard to cheese, especially early before Arrowfend.
But another way that he's not using, he has not put significant mage support up on top of Bandar.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. Is especially if you know the thugs Bandar might use are magic beings, having iron darts get cast.
Right.
That
and when he
can
stormed,
be a big thing.
He kept all his magi way back so their evos couldn't get into the fort.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
And the final option, and it's of course tricky, but having Black Lord thugs mixed in your army. And if you're using crossbows, you have air mages. You can do very cheap Arrowfend gear for your Black Lord thugs. Mm-hmm. And you put some scary thing on them. You let them get buffed up with, Strength of Giants, Legions of Steel, and if you have an Astral Mage, oh my God, you can put Luck and Body Ethereal on them. Mm-hmm. And you just let them go ham. And, there's a very good chance. It's going to be... The whole thing about Ulm, in my opinion, because you're going to have troop superiority, is just do things that are going to make it hard to get cheesed.
Well, you when we played Disciples together, you were late age Ulm.
Right.
And you used very effectively very small squads of Black Lords with the heavy cavalry.
Yeah.
Very effectively all over the place.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
There's somebody else I watched I was playing against recently or something like that was doing the same thing. Like, I think it was their size 3. So you go for 3 guard commander cavalry. That gives you 2 squares. One of them's in with the Black Lord and 2 of them on their own. And that's quite cost effective, quite a dangerous raiding squad. And if you can send a buffer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
By my count, we've covered everybody. As busy as this turn was, there wasn't a lot to talk about. Is somebody I missed here?
Let's just see what happens with Pythium real quick.
That was it. We didn't finish up Pythium.
So he's got the Skull Smashers. and he sent he repelled another raid. This is beautiful. I love this. God bless the minions.
Oh, great grief. Oh, he just bought playing his javelin guys. He didn't buy gladiators, but slingers.
No, he brought them. This is PD. He couldn't
Oh, this is just PD.
Because this is the turn after, so he can't have that much. Oh, and this is a thug. This is a thug. The eye-catcher thug that killed his god.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Will he get vengeance? He's got mind burn. Oh!
Oh, he got killed. Oh, good grief.
Oh, get wrecked. Guys, this is why you shouldn't give up in your games. Because the funniest times Marilyn and I have had...
No, totally.
It's not...
Totally.
It's not when, Pangaea is rampaging around Uruk. That's not the fun part. This is the fun part of Dominions. Don't give up in your games, goddammit.
Late game Snowball isn't really all that much fun because you've got this huge slog of scripting. You're going to need, I always want like 20 or 30 slots for scripts. I played a Nazca game that went to turn 80 and I sent this gigantic thing with 60 Magi or something and, communions everywhere. And I did some stack wipes, but I just agreed to call the game because I was worn out.
Yeah.
Whereas this kind of stuff, this crazy last minute ditch, pull out all the dirty tricks.
Yeah. Also,
it is really a fun way to play.
It subbing into desperate positions is so much fun because you get to skip all of the expansion bullshit, the war bullshit, and you go straight to this.
Well, and subbing
it's
into
fun. Like when you sub into like a 3-province game, you are MacGyver. You've got like 5 janky things, and you have to figure out how to link them together and make something work.
I agree with you because I don't like subbing into, somebody says, well, this nation is in good position.
Yeah.
It's got 40 provinces.
Yeah.
And you get in and you find that the infrastructure is a gong show. The research is a disaster. Site searching hasn't been done. And you know that you got 20 turns of just cleanup.
Yeah.
Before you feel, because I'm a little bit of a obsessive compulsive. I like to do everything following a plan.
Right.
I mean, I'll break the plan, but there's a sort of basic, there's early game expansion, there's mid game preparation, there's getting your diversity or going for your globals. There's all these various steps. And I'm not a big player for doing rush once in a while, but
yeah.
But I agree with you, like subbing in or ending up in a last minute defense. I mean, I had that one game Hatred where I was Erythia and I got rushed turn 10 and I hung on and punished the rusher for 30 more turns. Eventually I still lost.
Yeah.
But
when you post like, okay, the last turn he stormed, you screenshot that, you post it to the game channel, right?
Yeah.
This next turn he sends this in, loses 4 more mages, screenshot that, post it to the game channel. You do that for like 4 or 5 turns, 9 times out of 10 that player is going to get attacked by somebody else. It's like a law of nature. When you post 1 or 2 of these, nothing happens, but oh man, people love killing somebody who is failing to take someone else's cap. Yeah, this is I really firmly want to state that failing to finish when you've reduced an opponent to just his capital, make sure you finish that off. Get it done. Yeah. Oh, what's
otherwise you're tied up there. Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa. We had 2 of those.
2 thugs. Oh, he lost both of them. And these are not terribly cheap. These are 10 gem items. This is 20 gems?
40 gems.
Oh, so much stuff to screenshot. Oh my god. Yeah. Lost all of them.
And he will have gotten, because he actually had an actual commander there, 2 commanders. Oh, 1 died.
Yeah.
That weren't PD. He may have gotten some of that loot.
He may have gotten it. He can have his own thugs now. Oh, maybe he puts them on the mercenary.
Are those trolls?
Yeah.
Did he summon trolls?
No, it's the mercs. Skull smashers.
The mercs?
And
oh my gosh.
And he raided this with the tiny little squad he had.
Oh, good grief. Good grief.
Get out of here. All right. Beautiful.
All right.
I'm loving this.
Well done.
I think that's a great note to end on.
Yeah, I think we're done. That was Pythium, so that's our 13.
Yep. All right. Thank you for joining me, Maryland.
You are very welcome. That was quite fun.
All right. And thank you all for watching.
Bye-bye, guys.